Hey guys, it's Fayon here. Today I want to take you through one of my favorite tools. It's called the teacup. I use it almost on a daily basis because it feels amazing. It really helps open up the upper body and it helps coordinate it as one whole unit. So I'm going to introduce some progressions, some ideas so that you can start beginning to use this into your practice, because it's really benefited me and my practice, and I hope it helps for you guys as well. So let's get started now. All you do to get started is, well, it's called teacups because you place one palm up like this. You pretend like there's a teacup on top, and you don't want to let this teacup spill over like this. So you never want your hand facing down like this, always facing up. So we can start with the right hand here. I've got a palm spread open. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start internally rotating whilst keeping my palm up towards my armpit so that it's facing into my armpit. And then I keep on twisting. Notice how I have to shift over here to make space for my arm whilst keeping my palm up. Now to bring it over my head whilst still keeping my palm up, it rotates so that I'm back into the original position. Kind of magic, right? So all again, this comes into my armpit. Notice how I'm moving my torso to help create space as I'm moving my hand around. And then as you get familiar with the movement, you can start flowing around easier and easier. So this is the one-handed teacup. You can do as large a circle as you need to get started. Larger is easier when you start. And then if you start understanding that coordination a little bit more, to challenge the shoulder mobility a little bit more, you can really fix your torso and then try and do small circles. So you can see here, I really have to move just my scapula and my shoulder to make that movement happen. So that's one direction that the teacup can go in. So we went internally rotated first. Now we can actually reverse that motion, which is a little bit more tricky to learn at first, which is where you go this way. So I'm going to external rotate so it's behind my head while still keeping the palm up. Come over my head. Now it's internally rotated, and then back to the start. So once again, I'm externally rotating, bringing my palm above my head and behind me, comes back through, and that is the externally rotated one-handed teacup. Again, you can do wide. Notice how I have to move my torso to make the space. This makes it easier first, and then if I really want to make it hard for myself, I'm just going to fix my torso. I then have to bend my hand and my shoulder to make that happen and work without spilling the teacup. So those are the one-handed progressions that you can use. Remember, you can start with just the internally rotated one at first, nice and wide. Then as you get more used to that, you can start to bring it in, making it smaller and smaller. Once you start getting the hang of that, it's time to use both hands. So practice one hand each at first, and then you can start with a two-handed internally rotated teacup. And so this is where you have two teacups in the left and the right. You're going to bring them into your armpits here, out, over your head, and then around. Now notice, see on my side, when I do this, I'm going to have to make space with my torso to make it easier with my shoulders to make space as I do the teacup, and it really helps coordinate and open up the whole spine as you flex down, extend, open up, and allow this teacup motion to happen. So this is the two-handed internally rotated teacup. You go and basically put the one-handed version together. You can do large circles. So this is the dynamic nature of the teacup, is that you can really play around with how tight you want to make the circles. So you can make it really small and tight, and then you can make it nice and large, just depending on how you're feeling. So as with the one-handed teacup variation, you can then reverse that motion. So we went inside into the armpits, and now we can go externally rotated as well, which again is a little bit more tricky. So I'll demonstrate here. We're going to start with the two hands like this. They're going to come up and over like this. We're going to have to twist around and then come back to the front. So again, you might spill the teacup here. That's all right. Just about trying to coordinate this motion, the spine and the scapula together. Really have to open up that chest as you reach up and around to make the space. And it makes for a really interesting movement, coordinating the whole upper body together. Cool. So if you've got that, want to have another challenge, there's always more levels to this. So we can start working with this idea of internally rotating, externally rotating, and have one side externally rotating and the other side internally rotating. So it kind of looks like this. And you can see how my torso has to move from side to side, timing with the hands to make the space as I do my teacups. And again, I can go big or I can go small, just depending on whatever I'm feeling or what effect that I'm going after. So this is more shoulder girdle focused. This is more global focused with the whole torso, spine, even waist. This is more wrist, elbows, shoulder. Cool. And then again, another variation to that is I was kind of going the same way there. So they were, this one was going external, this one was going internal rotation. So they're kind of moving in this same direction. Now you can do one where this might be going in like this, and then this is delayed. So you'll start doing your internal rotated teacup on one side, and then the other side does internally rotated, but is at a different timing. So then it's alternating. And then again, small, large. If you wanted to test your rhythm, you could even set a metronome or a beat and try and dance your arms to it. So it's a really powerful tool in this way, where just from that one simple motion from the start with the one-handed teacup, you can start integrating it into different patterns with both the arms, and then you can explore it by modifying how tightly you want to make these circles, how big you want to make these circles, how much you want to move the torso, how much you want to fix the torso. You can even start walking around with it as well. Doing it in all sorts of positions. Really makes for a great warm-up or check-in for your body. You know, sometimes I pick up on little things in my shoulders, like a click here as I rotate, and then that tells me some interesting things about what my training is doing or how I'm feeling in my body. So you can really play around with it. I have really enjoyed this because you can pretty much do this anywhere, right? You could be standing within the train, maybe you might look a little bit weird, or you at work as well. If you just want to open up the body, you can do this, and you can go as crazy as you want. You could just do it a little small one. You could start moving all around if you wanted to really wake up your body, and it always makes me feel good. So this was one of the tools that I enjoyed also because it really broke me free from the gym, because there was this mindset, especially the fitness mindset, this perspective where you have to do stuff at a certain time of day in a certain place, and you have to do it with a great amount of exertion. And tools from movement practice really helped broaden my perspective so that I knew that basically I could just move, and that movement is always cumulative. It's always really nourishing for myself, and I don't have to do it at that certain place. I don't have to do it at that certain time. I can just do it, and I can just feel good, and that's all right. So I hope you guys enjoy. Remember, if you have any questions, please just shoot me a message. I'll be happy to help. Remember to subscribe onto this channel or check out the website on thepassivehang.com. I really invite you guys to join the forum that I've set up there. I'd love to see you guys in there, and I will see you in the next video.